As Democrats continue to stir up chaos and anarchy in our country by vilifying federal immigration enforcement, last night ICE once again found itself targeted by maniacs, and it all started with the raid of a marijuana farm just to the north and west of Los Angeles, the farm employing mostly illegal immigrants. So illegals growing drugs, it might be something you could look at. If you're ICE, if we had a common sense country, nobody would have a problem with that, but right now we do. And of course, it was met with hellfire by the left. Rioters swarmed this scene in the middle of the day. After getting word of this raid, federal agents had to use tear gas to push them back. This one went further than most that we see. It was complete chaos in broad daylight. Look how emboldened they have become. It is something to see. Throwing rocks. In this, look at this. Chucking rocks at the windows. That's sort of federal immigration enforcement officers. Those are federal cops inside of that car. Look at how bold they are to just pull a move like that, because they haven't been punished largely for any of this for the past 4 years. For years, we have allowed this. Biden's DOJ barely laid a finger on these people, and this is what you get when you keep letting this happen. The rioters attacked an unknown man in the streets as well, kicking and punching him in the crowd. Look at this. And then a gun was pulled and fired at ICE agents several times. You can see the kid in the black right there. Boom, boom, boom. Thankfully, nobody was hit. And after seeing all of this, here was the reaction from Democrats as federal law enforcement was attacked for implementing very common sense immigration enforcement on a drug farm.
What we've really seen here is horrific. It shouldn't be this way. It is vulgar, it's un-American.
They're unjust, unwarranted, and just unnecessary, and it's creating a lot of distress in our communities.
Here's the thing. They're not going after criminals. They're going after anybody that is brown, that looks like me, that can't pass as what they say is a typical American.
Well, there's a lot of foots and mouths tonight, because today we learned that while agents looked for illegals working at a drug farm, they also found kids. They found a lot of kids, at least 10 kids, some of them 14 years old, possibly working as, what, cartel child slaves at a marijuana farm with a bunch of other illegal immigrants. This is America. Think about that in this country, what that situation looks like. That's right outside of LA, 45-minute drive. It certainly reeks of cartel activity. On that, we're going to have to wait and see. But imagine this scenario, all of this that I just explained to you, and then imagine complaining about the cops in that situation. That's how deranged Democrats are on this issue. Not that there's 14-year-olds harvesting weed for a drug farm. No. They're screaming at ICE. Completely silent on the whole little kids being enslaved at the drug farm. They're screaming at ICE. ICE is the problem. Gavin Newsom is the governor of this state. He tweeted out, kids running from tear gas, crying on the phone because their mother was just taken from the fields. Trump calls me new scum, but he's the real scum. You mentioned the kids crying on the phone. What about the kids that were working there, Gavin? Arizona Senator Ruben Gallego, instead of prioritizing dangerous criminals, Trump is targeting families that have been here for years picking our food. Our food? Oh, that's not food. California Democrat Jimmy Gomez, how many MS-13 gang members are waking up at 3 a.m. to pick strawberries? Oh, yeah, 0. Trump said he'd go after bad hombres, but he's targeting the immigrant farm workers who feed America. Either he lied or he can't tell the difference. How many people eat weed for dinner? Make for a fun night. They probably should have waited to hear the details before humiliating themselves yet again, as they always do. Here was MSNBC.
This is highly skilled labor. It is not easy what these ag workers do. You may see these folks in the field, and they are members of families, and we've not heard those stories yet. But every one of those people has either a kid or a loved one whose parent or aunt or uncle is not coming home tonight. So we are talking about half of America's farm workers who are undocumented. That could be upwards of 3 million people.
So we've already seen the president show some reservations about deporting farm workers. If you've listened to his news conferences, of which there have been many this week, it does seem that the president and the White House understand that there are some places where deporting a full throttle deportation could actually hurt farms because as we brought in all of these illegal immigrants, we've had to adapt to that, and our farmers have had to adapt to that. And pulling that away really quick could be damaging, hurt our ability to produce food. That is true. It doesn't mean it shouldn't happen. It doesn't mean that we should be relying on illegal immigrants for our food, but we are. And there's some short-term pain there. President knows that. White House knows that. This is not a tomato farm. This is a farm to grow pot, which is a drug that really shouldn't be legal. I don't know if you've ever gotten high, but the stuff that they make today is powerful, potent stuff. It shouldn't be legal, but it is because states and local municipalities are becoming addicted to the massive amounts of tax revenue they can bring off of it. And as we know with so many other things like gambling, they don't really care about you. They just need more money. They want whatever the hell you got to do to get more money, they want more money. Our country is high. Our entire country is high. Weed is everywhere. And we have illegal cartel-delivered immigrants sourcing the product. And that's being spun as ICE terrorizing cucumber farmers. That's what they've done with this story. Karen Bass today signing an executive order in California to keep every illegal in her state by bolstering efforts of city departments to resist ICE and announcing today also that she's going to bring back the Angelino card. Yes, more free taxpayer money just given to illegal immigrants.
In terms of the first part of the question that you asked, what are the resources? We also are going to have a reinstitution of the Angelino card, something that Mayor Garcetti started during COVID that will actually provide cash assistance to people. Because, you know, you have people who don't want to leave their homes, who are not going to work, and they are in need of cash.
Imagine living in that state as a Republican, and about a third of the people that live there are. I mean, imagine listening to your mayor saying, we're going to reinstitute that plan to give your money to all the illegal immigrants, just free money, just hand it out on cards. We don't do that for anyone else in this country except for illegals. Have you noticed that? Do you ever see them just handing out cash to people that actually live here and pay taxes? It never happens. Cal State following suit along with the mayor, allowing professors to move classes online, giving excused absences to illegal students who are too scared to leave the house, many of whom are already getting free or subsidized educations in the state of California. Here's Tom Homan.
At least 20 million in this country. Look, we've been talking about 12 million for the last 2 decades. We know 10.5 million came to the border just under Joe Biden. And for those that say 3,000 a day is ridiculous, do the math. We'd have to arrest 7,000 every single day of this administration to the end, just to remove those that Biden released in the country.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.